Hey there, truth seekers. Today, we're tackling a common misconception about Buddhism. Buddhists believe in reincarnation. Hold on to your meditation cushions because we're about to uncover the real deal straight from the Buddha's mouth. First things first, the Buddha never actually taught reincarnation as we commonly understand it. Instead, he spoke about rebirth, which is a whole different ballgame. In the suttas, the Buddha talks about rebirth as a process of continuous becoming, not the transfer of a fixed soul or self from one body to another. He used the term punabbhava, which means again becoming. Let's break it down with a story from the Buddha's time. Once, a wandering ascetic named Vacchagotta approached the Buddha and asked, "Is there a self?" The Buddha remained silent. Vacchagotta then asked, "Is there no self?" Again, the Buddha stayed quiet. When Vacchagotta left, Ananda, the Buddha's attendant, asked why he didn't answer. The Buddha explained that answering either way would have led to misunderstanding. If he said there was a self, it would support the eternalist view. If he said there was no self, it would confuse Vacchagotta, who might think, "I used to have a self, but now I don't." This story illustrates the Buddha's middle way approach to the concept of self and rebirth. He taught that what we call a person is actually an ever-changing process of physical and mental phenomena, not a fixed, unchanging essence that moves from life to life. Now you might be thinking, but wait, if there's no fixed self, what gets reborn? Great question. The Buddha explained this using the analogy of a flame passing from one candle to another. The flame isn't the same, but it's not entirely different either. It's a continuation of a process, influenced by past conditions, but not determined by them. In the Mahātaṇhāsaṅkhaya Sutta, the Buddha corrects a monk named Sati, who believed that consciousness transmigrates unchanged from one life to the next. The Buddha firmly rejects this view, explaining that consciousness arises, dependent on conditions, and ceases when those conditions cease. Here's where it gets really interesting. The Buddha taught that what we experience as rebirth is actually happening moment to moment, not just at death. Every thought, every action, every choice we make is shaping our future experiences. This is the essence of karma. The understanding that our intentional actions have consequences that ripple through time. To drive this point home, let's look at another story from the Buddha's time. A grieving mother named Kisa Gotami, carrying her dead child, came to the Buddha asking for medicine to bring her son back to life. The Buddha, in his wisdom, told her to bring him a mustard seed from a house where no one had ever died. As Kisa Gotami went from house to house, she gradually realized the universality of death and the impermanence of all things. This realization helped her let go of her grief and understand the true nature of existence. This story beautifully illustrates the Buddha's teaching on impermanence and the constantly changing nature of reality. It's not about a soul moving from body to body, but about the ongoing process of cause and effect. So what does all this mean for us in our daily lives? It means that every moment is an opportunity for transformation. We're not bound by some fixed destiny or unchanging self. Instead, we have the power to shape our experiences through our actions and intentions. The Buddha's teaching on rebirth isn't about speculating on past or future lives. It's about understanding the nature of our experience right now. It's about recognizing that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. In the Kalama Sutta, the Buddha encourages us not to believe something just because it's tradition or because a teacher says so. Instead, he urges us to test teachings for ourselves to see if they lead to benefit and happiness. So, I encourage you to reflect on this understanding of rebirth and see how it resonates with your own experience. Remember, the goal of the Buddha's teaching isn't to develop beliefs about rebirth or any other metaphysical concept. It's to understand the nature of suffering and to find a way to end it. The Buddha's teachings on rebirth are meant to support this goal, not to become an object of attachment or speculation. So, the next time someone tells you that Buddhists believe in reincarnation, you can smile knowingly and say, well, it's a bit more complicated than that. And then, if they're interested, you can share the Buddha's profound insights into the nature of existence. That's all for today, folks. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep practicing. The truth is out there, and it's right here too, in every moment of your experience. Until next time, may you be well, happy, and free from suffering.